Well, welcome to the journey. My name is Kevin Polky, and I am the host of the journey. Over the last couple years, I have spent quite a bit of time talking about some of the research I've done on how to manage um, our stress levels. I think if I think if anything that the pandemic has taught us, as well as all the other things that were happening during that same time period of pre 2020 all the way up until now, is that no matter what we attempt to do, we are not able to fully control all the stressors in our life. That even though we attempt to do, such as when coronavirus was at its peak, um, attempting to wear masks, attempt to social distance, attempt to close businesses down, to eliminate or reduce social gatherings, that the virus still found a way to navigate through. Uh, that there was individuals that would talk about this idea that we're not going to be able to eliminate the virus. More, what we need to do is be able to increase our immune system and actively take extra effort in protecting individuals who had compromised immune systems. And some of the things with technology and advancement, with medical protocol, helped reduce the impact of an individual contracting the virus, testing positive for the virus in, let's say, 2022 or even early 2023, versus if you were someone who had contracted the virus early on. So this idea that we are not able to control or eliminate all the stressors in our life, but we are responsible for managing our stress level. I think this awareness and this acceptance of this is first and foremost the key to being able to, where do I spend my energy, instead of trying to eliminate anything that might cause me distress. Instead, what things can I do to increase my resilience? What things can I do to manage when I am under a level of stress? I've been activated. What things can I do? I know that at different times I have talked about how our body's response, how we were designed to survive, and our amygdala, a part of our brain, part of our reptilian brain, that is primarily function is to help us be prepared when we perceive something as a threat, to activate the sympathetic aspect of our nervous system and release adrenaline, release cortisol and other chemicals, so that we can either fight or flight or freeze, to be able to escape or defeat some type of stressor, some type of something that's causing us potential harm. And in normal circumstances, when that is a physical threat, then we are able to either be activated by that physical threat and then either physically fight that thing, or be able to escape from it. Either way, there is a physical exertion that is prompted and then accelerated chemically through these different types of adrenaline going through our system, and then we utilize that to be able to be faster or be stronger in the moments and times. And we've all heard different stories, as well as maybe experienced that myself. I never really understood at the time. Now I do. Never understood at the time that during football season, when I was in high school, that on game night, in the pregame warmups, I was more flexible than I was during practice. which I was grateful for, but didn't understand what that was about. Now understanding that that was all part of the amygdala releasing chemicals and increasing blood flow to my extremities and being able to allow myself to be more flexible as well as more alert. I think it's equally said in those particular situations is that if we haven't done the work in practices leading up to games, that this is not necessarily time to be able to incorporate an advanced skill. It is, in this case, true that how you practice is going to be how you play. Because of that threat response cycle, we're not going to be able to proficiently exercise or utilize an advanced skill that we had not been practicing. So this idea that how you practice will result in how you end up playing on the figurative game day. That equally, that being able to be able to activate that and have some type of physical response, then also when the threat is over, when the game's over, when the physical threat is over, then there is going to be a natural part of our body and our brain that produces from the parasympathetic nervous system chemicals for rest and digest. That after the game or after the threat has gone, that okay, and then as allows our body and our mind to recover. But what about those factors that end up being we perceive as a threat, but it isn't a physical threat? Or like in this case, if we're talking about sports, as myself being a former competitive athlete, how much more did I put stress on myself because I had a strong desire for the outcome to be a certain way? This idea that I was putting all this energy into what I wanted the outcome to be, also then I learned I had less to do with being able to control the outcome and had more to do with just being able to control the process, meaning the preparation leading into the figurative Friday night game and my amount of effort that I put into the time of the game had a lot to do with what I could control. But I, being part of a team, was not myself going to be able to control the exact outcome of what the game was going to be. I would even say even some of the top athletes, they themselves, because they're playing a team sport, are not able to single-handedly control the outcome of the game. This idea that if being able to control and put effort into and energy into the process allows us then to trust that, and it can lower this level of anxiety or stress. Right now, we are about to finish up a school year. It's coming to the end of the semester. Some college students are already graduating. Other high school students are getting ready for finals. Similar to sports, similar to, let's say, in the arts, is that preparation, that practice is the aspect of what you can control. And then come the night of the show, the day of the game, the time for the examination or writing the paper, that if you've done all that prep work, and yes, of course, we want a particular desired outcome, and that's why we put the energy into the preparation, but trusting the process that you have put forth the effort into it and letting go, and then just being, when the exam comes, then the answers, if you've done the prep work, the right answer will pop out to you. Now, true, if you have not done the prep work, if you've not done your studying, then you're not going to be able to find the right answer, at least with any level of confidence. You may guess, but there's no confidence in that technique. So again, this idea of being able to define what can I control. I can't control all the stressors in my life. I can't control the outcome, but I can control how I manage the stressors. I can control my part and my energy level in the process. I think if we can keep this in mind and be mindful of the difference between the outcome and giving 100% in the preparation for the outcome, but then at the point of activation of the game, of the test, of the performance, then getting out of the way and then trusting that process and then being open to learning what we can, regardless if we, so I'm air quoting, winning, or if we end up being less than first place. That either way, it is just part of a bigger story that we can learn from and grow from for the future. As always, I appreciate you being here. And if you believe that anything that we were talking about today would be beneficial to someone, I encourage you to share that and or listen to this again in those times when you are preparing for something and you notice that you are putting a lot of energy into the outcome, maybe shifting that energy into just developing the process and putting forth toward the process. As always, look forward to being with you next week.